Chapter 3. Shauna. I break the water surface, coughing and sputtering, more for effect than anything. I'm about 20 feet from the boat. Miss Edwards whips her head around when she hears me and yells at the elf to get me. "Are you okay?" she asks as she helps pull me into the boat. "How could you hold your breath that long?" "I go swimming a lot," I say, shrugging one of the fluffy white towels around my shoulders. I glance around the edge of the lake, looking for the bright sun from earlier that now hides behind a cloud. I catch Philippe's eye. He is on the shore where I had been a short while ago, waiting to board his boat so he can go next. "Oh, Philippe," I think. I don't know how I'm going to explain any of this to you. All I can picture is his face crinkled up in confusion. Best not to tell him for now. Not until I understand it myself. I hop off the boat and watch the others that were in the boat with me head up the path towards the gates to the city. Philippe and I never actually established where we would meet, so rather than lose him in the city, I decide to stay on the shore where I can keep an eye on him. I walk along the water line a little way and notice a small pool of water where 3 rocks meet and the water collects within. Small fish dart around in their enclosure, dancing away from my fingers as I swirl them slowly around. I climb up on one of the rocks and slip off my sopping wet slippers, lying them on the warm stone to dry. Slowly I dip my toes into the fresh water and flinch away, a laugh spilling from my lips when I feel the little fish nibble at my toes. I slip my feet back into the water, watching the scales flash as they weave around my feet. I start trying to digest the information I just received. I am the chosen one of Cabanera Lake. I am the one who will be able to control water. It seems too unreal. I touch my neck where the skin had parted to reveal gills. Nothing. The skin is smooth. Did they disappear as soon as I surfaced, or just before? If I am the chosen one, what can I do? What can't I do? Is it why I feel so calm near the water? Questions buzz in my head like bees. They swirl and swirl without end. My thoughts turn now to the actual test. For years, we have been making 17-year-olds just jump into the lake in the hope that they would somehow reveal themselves. I can't help but feel like that plan was flawed. There had to be a better way to show the powers a person possessed. Then again, mine hadn't appeared until now. I watch as Philippe executes a graceful dive into the water, slightly splashing his companion on the boat. After a short time, he emerges and climbs back on board. He looks disappointed. But, of course he would. Everyone will be disappointed. He shakes the water from his hair, sending ripples scattering away from his boat. It's then that he spots me, and he breaks out into a broad grin. I rise nonchalantly, struggling for a moment to slip the damp slippers back onto my feet, and tilt my head indicating where to meet. I see him nod in affirmation and my heart skips a beat. I move through the trees, careful to hold my dress away from the branches and thorns that snag and pull. I look to my left and I can see the shimmer of the lake, while to my right there is a fallen tree. The sun has come back out, but its rays are softer here, the leaves dappling the beams. I hop up onto the tree, testing my weight before sitting and combing through my hair with my fingers. Once I have detangled it as much as I can with my fingers, I twist the strands into a braid and toss it over my shoulder. When Philippe comes striding up the trail, I'm lying down on the trees, looking up through the leaves at the bright blue sky. His hair still shimmers with droplets that won't let go. "Hello, Shauna," he says in his low, rough voice. "Hello," I reply. He steps closer, our fingers interlocking before he raises a hand to brush away a tendril of hair from my face. I'm shorter than him, only coming up to his chest, so I have to look up at him. It's something he says he likes about me. To look at him, he has to see my whole face. But here on my perch, I am almost eye to eye with him. The curl comes loose again, and he tucks it behind my ear, but this time he brushes his hand along my jaw as he does so, cupping my chin. Slowly he bends his head and kisses me. My hands slide up his arms, his shoulders, and rest on his neck, my fingers interlacing in his hair at the base of his skull. I swing my legs carefully off the fallen tree and slide down his chest until I am standing. He lays a gentle, fleeting kiss on my lips, then my nose, and finally he comes to rest on my forehead, pausing there before I sink my head onto his chest and he hugs me close. I hear the bump, the bump, the bump of his heart through the coarse linen of his shirt. "Shauna, I have missed you so much," he whispers, and I can feel the heat of his breath on my ear. "You're the one who went away," I mumble back, inhaling his comforting scent. "You knew I had to go. I needed to trade those goods for Father," he says, running a finger over my damp hair. "But I'm back now." He pauses, his hand coming down to cup mine. "Look at me, Shauna. There's something I need to say." Quickly, I glance up at him, searching his face for signs of a problem. Carefully, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small pouch. He had tied it with a piece of neat black cord. From the pouch, he pulls out a delicate silver ring, inlaid with blue stones. I just stare at the beautiful ring, enraptured by its many shining facets. Leaving did give me a chance to find this. So, it brought some good. "Shauna, will you take it? Will you take me? And be with me forever as my bride?" I glance from him to the ring, and back again as my sluggish brain puts the pieces together. "Yes! Yes, absolutely yes!" I squeal, throwing my arms around his neck, hugging him tightly. Before I can take another breath, he is kissing me again, more fiercely this time, and when we break apart, my lips feel slightly numb. I touch my lips, still feeling the phantom pressure of his. It is almost like a phantom feeling of the gills that were on my neck. "What's wrong?" he asks, his voice instantly softening. I shake my head. "Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was just thinking how much I love you." I lie. Chapter 4. Tetra. After making a not-so-graceful dismount from the boat, Tetra waits for Father to climb up on the shore beside her. She has been here on this side of the lake a few times over the years with her lessons or with Giacinta when she needed an extra set of hands for an appointment. So while the grandeur of the city made many drop their jaw in awe, she gives it a cursory glance and focuses on holding up her dress. She flinches whenever the cold fabric clings to her ankles. Of course, the boat her father had picked has a hole in it. Why wouldn't it? We had to take the first boat so we could watch Shauna jump in the water. "So, where are you meeting Giacinta?" Father asks, bending to squeeze some of the water from his pants. "I told her I would meet her in the market on the south side, but I have to get dried off before I go do that," she says. "I think I saw her come up the path when we were in line from docking, so I'm going to see if I can catch up with her." "Okay, just stay safe. There'll be a lot more people in the city today." Tetra starts to interrupt him. I know. You already know this, but I still need to say it." She nods. "Okay, I'm gonna go try to find her before I lose her. I'll see you at the banquet later." "Go, have fun," her father calls as she hurries up the path. She sees a few wet teens gathered in front of an inn. They're probably waiting for their room assignments for the afternoon. "Hey, Ward," Tetra says, pausing by the crowd to say hello to one of the candidates in Shauna's lesson group. "Hello, Tetra. Oh, you would know, 'cause you did this last year. This assignment we have to wait for. They give us room, food, and a change of clothes, right?" "Yeah, you get this blue outfit to wear and get a bath, and last year they had some stew for us to eat." He nods. "And let me guess, it makes it easier for them to keep track of all of us?" "Exactly. Not really sure what perks you get after you've already been tested." "Name?" an elven woman asks, coming up behind Tetra and tapping her on the shoulder. "My name is Tetra Flynn. I was tested last year, so I don't think I will be on your list there. Ah, yes, you are correct. The elf's accent adding a gentle lilt to the words. Unfortunately, we don't have anything for you. Family members of the candidates must find their own quarters for the day. Now, if you will excuse me, she turns to Ward. Name? Ward Hendricks, he replies, sending a glance at Tetra that says, Sorry you just got ignored. She shrugs and turns to go into the city. Maybe going to see if Giacinta is actually here wouldn't be so bad. She had said she might come over to take advantage of some of the deals she could get when there were so many people in the city. Tetra turns off onto a side street flooded with sunlight. She pauses near a fruit stand, enjoying the feeling of the sun on her back. It won't be long until the leaves change and it got to be cold again. The selection of fruits the woman has for sale is sparse. It is clear she is running low on summer supplies and is just waiting for the autumn harvest to begin. Tetra reaches into a small pouch that hangs from her waist and selects a coin or two for one of the small, underripe apples. Thank you, dear. That will be 2 copper stones, the woman says, grabbing a cloth to rub any dirt off the small thing. Thank you. I now have a snack to hold me over to the banquet. Tetra takes the apple and makes a show of biting into the hard flesh. The woman beams as Tetra turns away. It only takes Tetra a few more bites to finish the apple. While it hits the spot, she is sure she's going to be starving when it comes to the banquet tonight. She's been to the Southside Market a few times with Giacinta. When they had come before, they normally would bump into 1 or 2 people. But now, with the celebration of Mabon kicking off with the testing of the candidates, the sloping street is packed elbow to elbow with men and elves. Some are busy bargaining with the sellers. Others, like her, are just using it as a way to kill time for the afternoon. As she looks down the hill towards the store Giacinta works with the most, Tetra thinks she sees the flash of her friend's long raven hair. As she fights through the crowds to get to her friend, Tetra thinks of what it was like for her the year before. The test was annoying. Tetra hated the water. Shauna could spend hours in the lake swimming and relaxing next to the crashing waves, and Tetra wanted to spend as little time with the water as she could. So for Tetra, the idea of jumping into the middle of the lake for nothing to happen and to spend a good bit of time after, dripping wet, was one of the last things she wanted to be a part of. Honestly, the food wasn't worth it either.